Hey everybody, happy Thursday. I hope you're having a magnificent day. This is Brenda Reynolds coming to you live with the Daily Coaching Show on the F Words of Life. Super excited to have you here. Super excited to share today's content. These daily shows this week, what we've been focused on is we've been focused on your relationships, your business relationships and your personal relationships, and what they have in common and what is at the core of every relationship is communication. So this week we've raised your awareness about communication. That was Monday's episode. Tuesday we talked about, what did we talk about on Tuesday? We talked about being present. Like my mind just totally went blank. On Tuesday, we talked about being present. To fully communicate and connect with another human being, whether it's voice to voice or face to face, you must be present. Yesterday's episode, we talked about listening and how being present and listening really go hand in hand with connecting, whether it's with a potential client, whether you have a job and you are on the phone with clients, whether you're a business owner, you're talking to a vendor and you're negotiating, whether this is in your personal relationships, with your spouse, with your kids, with your best friend. Communication, being present, and listening are the stepping stones. So today we're going to add the third piece of the puzzle of this three-pronged approach. So very simple. And I've said all week, the quote by Brendan Burchard, common sense doesn't always equal common practice. Just heard a weird noise. Common sense doesn't always equal common practice. What does that mean? Well, it's one thing to know something. It's a whole different thing to do it, and to do it at a very high level. So with your communication, what I'm asking you to do is really check in and ask yourself, how well am I communicating? Am I at 50%? Am I fully engaged? Am I fully present when I'm listening? Am I really listening to hear what the other person says? Or am I listening so I can respond? Am I listening so I can defend? So yesterday's episode was all about that. Today, what we're going to talk about is the third piece of the puzzle, which is curiosity. Curiosity really is the ability to ask questions. Before you jump in and give an opinion or you give a solution, what I want you doing is I want you to think about really getting to know someone, even in a business setting. Curiosity deepens relationships. It allows you to connect more with the other person. And with more connection, people want to do business with people they like. People want to do business with people they connect with. So this absolutely has a business application. So what I want you to do is I want you to turn on the switch to be more curious, to ask more questions. And I'm not going to go into very specific training on how to ask questions, all of the different types of questions. There's a list a mile long of the different types of questions you can ask. In the past, you guys know that I've been a coach for over 15 years. I've also developed, I actually need to count up the number, probably over 100 coaches. Actually, I know for sure it's been over 100 coaches, probably over 200 coaches that I've actually developed and trained. And so if I was doing a coaching training, we get into very specific how to ask a specific question. What does that question mean? What's the purpose behind that? We're not going to get that technical today. That's the reason I want you to focus on the concept of curiosity. So here's the picture that I want you to have in your mind. Think about when you first started dating the love of your life. Hopefully that's the person that you're with now. If you're single, think about when you first started dating somebody that you were so fascinated by, right? And you remember that courtship in the very beginning. And could you get enough, right? You just couldn't get enough. When you sat down at dinner for a date, you were talking and you just couldn't hear enough about this person's life story and what they were interested in. I'm talking about somebody that you really wanted to get to know. Right? Your curiosity meter went all the way up to the top, didn't it? You could not get enough. You were a sponge of information, of emotions, of experiences, but of really getting to know that person. Now, when we're getting to know somebody in business, obviously it's not going to be at that level of intensity, but I want you to think about your current relationship with your significant other. Do you still have that passion of curiosity for them? Because if you don't, that's something that you can turn on and it will shift your relationship. There will be a positive shift in that. Think about with your kids. Do you have the curiosity at the end of your day. I know you're working hard. You're putting time into your own business. You've got a side hustle. You've got a job. You've got a career. You're a stay-at-home parent. Sometimes you're tapped out at the end of the day. That's why we talked about being present, and I gave you some tangible tips on how you can become more present so that you can actually listen and become curious. And so again, this week was kind of a series stacking on top of each other to give you guys really small, easy ways to deepen your relationships, to have better business relationships, to have a better relationship with your kids. So at the end of your day, you're sitting down, you're having dinner with your kid, or your niece or your nephew. Do you engage in curiosity? Are you asking questions? Or are you just going, oh my God, I just wish they would stop talking? That's not how we show and demonstrate our love. We demonstrate our love by being present and hearing people. That you think about when you feel loved and validated, you want to feel heard. And so, like I said, just this concept of curiosity is what I want to bring to your awareness, because I've told you guys over and over, without awareness, we can't change or shift anything. So I'm putting this into your awareness. I'm putting this into your space of, are you curious? Do you naturally have curiosity? Some people do. Or is it something that you need to be working on? Now, I believe as kids, we're naturally curious about everything. And then somehow as we, come to be an adult, it goes away for most people. So I want you to engage in that kid-like curiosity. Here are some specific ways. I'm going to give you 2 specific things that you can do, just kind of prompts, verbal prompts. Number 1, somebody's telling you something and you're listening. You can use the words, I'm curious, prior to a question, so that it prompts you to ask a question instead of, like I said, whether it's getting defensive, whether it's giving an answer or some sort of, I've got to give them the result that they need. Hey, I'm curious. What did you mean by blah, 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 blah? Hey, I'm curious. What happened when that, could you tell me a little bit more about that? Okay. And that's the second one, is tell me more about. Okay, so you can use the words I'm curious to be your prompt, to ask a question, to dig deeper, right? You're digging deeper so that you can deepen the connection, deepen the relationship with this person that you're talking to. The second prompt is tell me more. So it doesn't even have to be a question with a question mark at the end, right? Tell me more about X, Y, and Z. Tell me more about your experience with your past business relationship, whatever current client you're trying to get to sign on with you, right? Tell me about your experience in the past with this. Tell me more about your day. Okay, your kid comes home and tells you a brief little story. Well, tell me more about that. Give me some more details. Fill in the blanks here. I missed this part, right? I'm not seeing the full picture. So this is how you get more curious. It's by simply asking questions. And the reason I started with being present earlier this week is because you have to have the capacity to be curious by being present. You have to kind of empty out what happened in your day. So if you're driving home and you're stressed out by traffic and you had a busy day at work, spend 3 minutes in your car before you walk in the house, releasing everything, taking deep breaths, right? And just allowing yourself to become present before you walk into your home, if there are people in your home that you're going to be talking to. Second step, again, was listening. So we talked about that yesterday, 3 specific ways in which you can listen. So 3 strategies that you can use to be a better listener. And then today, just 2 simple prompts to be more curious, to dig a little bit deeper, to have a little bit deeper connection with the people that you care about, or the people that you're looking to do business with, or the people that you're already doing business with. So, I'm curious. Tell me more about that. Those are your 2. I'm curious. And you can just follow that with a question if there's a very specific question you want to ask based on the content of the conversation, right? Or you can just say, hey, tell me more about that. Tell me more about that experience. Tell me more about when you went and did, this. And I promise you, if you use these simple things, again, it's not about knowing it, it's about doing it. You will have a better experience in your relationships, and the people around you will be blown away. So my friends, have a great rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you live tomorrow, and I'll see you Friday. Make it a great rest of your day.